got better, and it was reflected in the way he played. It was reflective of the way he led our offense. A lot of positive things that we're going to take from that.
Sounded like Ron Rivera was talking about a moral victory right there. It is Moral Victory Monday, presented by Chiniga Miles. Join the mission at careerswithmios.com. He was talking about his quarterback and growth. Time now for our How Eval. We do it every Monday at 6:45. I'll lead off. It's hard not to give the guy an A. What did he do wrong? I gave him an A- a couple weeks ago, and people jumped on me, but that was a game where, I think there were some things to criticize. I watched this game, very little to criticize. He was accurate, had a beautiful touchdown pass to Josh Dotson at the end of the game, engineered a game-tying drive with no timeouts at the end. Maybe got lucky. Now, if you want to nitpick, the one bad play, and it wasn't necessarily his fault, is if that ball's caught with 2 seconds left, they lose the game.
That is
right
true.
there.
Right.
That's maybe the only decision I can quibble with the whole game. Did take 5 sacks, but look, he dropped back 41. He dropped back 47 times because if you include the 6 runs, 47 dropbacks, got sacked 5 times. Most of it was on the offensive line, so I'll give him an A.
I'll give him an A. That's 2 A's. I gave him an A+ a couple weeks ago against Denver. But look at his overall numbers. I mean, maybe one of the sacks was on him because he tripped there, and there was a little bit of a pocket he could, sliver of a pocket he could have run through. But I think the other sacks that he had were on the offensive line. 290 yards passing. I mean, his passing total prop for the game was 214, so he flew over that.
Smashed it.
QBR was 76.4. His rating was almost 100. I mean, Hurts played a great game, and Howell's QBR was higher. So it's hard to criticize anything. He was giving the team a chance to win the game. Certainly at the end, he was the reason they were moving the ball. He had the check downs. He wasn't forcing balls in, maybe a couple, but he was lucky not to have that one interception in the end zone. But yeah, I got to give him an A. That's the evaluation this week.
I don't see how you don't give him an A. He went into the Lions' den in the defending NFC champs' home and pushed them to the brink, threw for almost 300 yards. He was sacked 5 times, so that hurts, but I mean, he's at 24 on the season now. That has to get shored up at some point. He had a 98 rating. He had a 76 QBR. He adds 40 yards on the ground. Sorry, that's an A. That's an A. That's an A grade for a guy making his 5th NFL start.
Absolutely.
And he didn't turn the ball over.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And he easily could have.
It's an A grade. Here's the little caveat. Sam Howell is inextricably linked to his offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy, this year. And I thought Eric Bieniemy helped him out tremendously with what they drew up. They had more max protection. Obviously, they hammered into him to step up into the pocket, to throw the ball away. They emphasized the short passing game, and then they took their shots when they could. What he did late in the game to drive him down to score that touchdown was just unbelievable. They get that kind of performance out of Sam Howell more often than not. This team can build around him. No doubt about it. If they can get that kind of performance, they found their guy.
My only qualifier with Sam Howell playing well is if you look at what quarterbacks have done against the Eagles' pass defense. In week 1, Mac Jones, who's not good, 316 yards passing, so it's more than Howell, 3 touchdowns with 1 pick. In week 2, the Eagles allowed Kirk Cousins to go for 364 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. And last week, they did a pretty good job against Baker, who only threw for 146 yards and 1 touchdown. So we're talking about the Commanders having a defensive problem. Right now, the Eagles, they've got a lot of talent, but they're giving up a lot of yards to opposing quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but still, the fact that he went into Philly, especially after what happened last year, I said all last week, I think Philly's targeting this game because they're pissed off about what happened last year. And they came out, 14-play drive to open up the game. A lot of it was because of Howell. So that put all the pressure on Philly, right? I know the defense isn't playing well statistically, but they still got players, man. I mean, they got really good players. They have good players in the secondary, Blankenship and Slay. They got guys who can rush the passer. He just played an efficient game.
I can't remember who we were talking about. It had been I do a show on Sundays called Inside the Betting Lines, and we had RJ Choppy on from Dallas, and we're talking about the NFC East a little bit, and just kind of the outside opinion, and it's much like ours, is something seems off with the Eagles. Like they're not firing on all cylinders. They're still 4-0.
Yeah.
And it may just come down to they lost both coordinators. Like you might have all that talent, but
It's
maybe you
growing
do take a
pains.
step back when you lose an offense coordinator, you lose a defensive coordinator.
It takes a while for guys to know what their roles are, to learn new verbiage, and to execute the way their new coordinators want them to. I can totally buy that. But you know what?
I would be
If they're
concerned.
4-0, they're 4-0 with new coordinators, and I would take that start if I'm serious.
I mean, they're fifth in the league in offense in almost 400 yards a game. I would be concerned if I was the rest of the league if they're not hitting on all cylinders and they're 4-0.
Right.
Yeah, it's just the opinion of,
that makes you worry.
RJ Choppy. And I kind of agree with it. Like Jalen Hurts last year was unbelievable, right? And look, he had a good game yesterday, but he's got 3 picks this year. Last year was 22 touchdowns, 6 picks. Quarterback rating 102.
Yeah.
This year's quarterback rating's 92. It's not bad.
Okay, it's a step back, but
His QBR was 68 last year. So far this year, it's 53.7. Like it's
we're really
not
nitpicking,
quite
though,
the same
because
as
this
last
Eagles
year.
Team, their minimum scoring output so far in 4 games is 25 points. That's their low watermark.
I
And they've
think- I
done
agree.
that twice.
Offensively,
I agree. They're a little off, but they're still very, very good.
Absolutely.
And Swift adds another dimension, as you could
He's
tell.
taking the lead in that backfield.
They're
no
very
doubt.
capable of blowing us out, and we played them pound for pound, step for step, and easily could have won that game. So, just an overall, I think, great performance from the offense in particular, and Sam Howell. Let's go to the calls. If you want to chime in, you want to give Howell a grade. Let's go to Brian in Waldorf. Brian, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I give Sam Howell an A+ for yesterday. I was very impressed, especially after the game last week. I was at that Buffalo game. I will say there was entirely too many Buffalo fans. It was very annoying. But, yeah, I give him an A+. I'm going to say this. Y'all might think I'm crazy. I really do like Curtis Samuel. I really, really like Jahan Dotson. I love Terry McLaurin. But I wouldn't mind going to get another receiver, maybe like a Devontae Adams, if he's available or something like that. I think he's
Who
really
wouldn't want
missing.
Devontae Adams on their team? Of course, every team could say that.
Yeah, but wouldn't
Yeah,
you
but
say?
I think he's missing that kind of receiver like an AJ, but I think we should kind of invest in that. Now, I do think Terry McLaurin is very, very good at the number 1, but that big body, just natural, huge receiver who's just a big play down the field, I really do think we're missing that right now.
It would be nice.
And I would build around Sam Howell. I really would look into building around him. I don't think we're a Super Bowl caliber team now, maybe a year or 2 from now, but I would really look to build around Sam Howell, but he still has to show me more. I'm not ready to jump on that.
You don't have to anoint him
bandwagon
yet, but I think the signs are he's showing signs you can win with him.
Yeah, you definitely can. And I loved being in the game on a Sunday against Philly. If you can give me that every week and I got something to watch and feel good about, I know we don't like moral victories, but, golly, we were in a game.
Sounds like you buy into a Moral Victory Monday.
No, he does.
Which is presented by Chinigo Mayos. Join the mission at careerswithmios.com. Coming up next, ESPN.com, Commanders insider John Keim, right here on the Junkies.